They pointed me to the kids' table, and I smiled. The host stand sat under a brass sconce that hummed. Cold air drifted from the vent above. Place cards fanned out in a wooden tray, cream with a thin navy line. I stood there with my small clutch and a thin navy folder held flat against my side. "Welcome," the young host said. "Family of the groom?" He was earnest, fresh shave, a small nick under his ear. "Yes," I said. "Mother of the groom." A hand reached past me and tapped the tray. Red nails, a gold bracelet that chimed when it hit wood. "She's with us," my sister-in-law said. "We'll set her at the kids' table, closer to the back." She lifted a place card with my name and rolled it between two fingers. "No problem." The host looked at me. He seemed unsure. His eyes went to the bracelet, then to my face. I breathed, in through the nose, out through my mouth. I looked at the card with my name. The font had small tails on the G and the M. The ink smelled faintly of toner. I smiled. "Lovely room," I said. I could see the dining space past the double doors. White cloth, sturdy chairs, napkins in a simple fold. The big windows faced the elm trees and the gravel lot. I heard soft chatter and the clink of a glass stem set down too close to a plate. 2 little boys ran by in suspenders. One dragged a napkin like a cape. His brother tripped on a chair leg and yelped. I crouched to help him tie the napkin behind his neck. He grinned up at me with a front tooth half grown in. "You're the cape lady," he said. "I'll take the title," I said. I tied a flat knot so the fabric would lie still. "Go show your mom." A cousin behind us laughed. "Auntie, you don't mind the kids' table, do you? You're good with them." It was a joke, but the word landed. Kids' table. I felt it in my ribs the way you feel the baseline through a wall. My sister-in-law, Tara, did not wait for an answer. She set my place card on top of a stack of others and slid the stack to the edge. "The photographer wants seats by the window clear. We need space for gear. We'll move some people around." "The photographer is here," I said. "He can speak for his gear." "He's busy," she said, and smiled at nothing. "This won't take a second." I stood. My phone buzzed once in my clutch. A soft, even tone. I did not check it. The host looked from Tara to me again. He pressed his lips tight, polite. I touched the thin folder at my side. The edge was smooth. The plastic sleeve inside kept the papers from creasing. I had brought it because I bring my paper where my name is on the bill. It is not drama. It lives with my house keys and a pen. I thought of the tasting day. 2 weeks back. A Thursday. I had a parking stub from that day. $4.50 with a timestamp, 2:13 p.m. I still had it in the rear pocket of the folder. I thought of the small plate of salmon we tried, of the tiny fork they gave me for the cake, of the manager whose name was Claire. She wore a navy jacket with a single button and had a calm way of resetting cutlery so it all faced the same way. I thought of the email thread with the subject line, "Client of record, Groom A.S. Dinner, Martin, Carver." The first message had gone out 6 weeks ago. It said, "Hi, Claire. Confirming I am the client of record for contracts, payments, and approvals. Thank you, Grace." Her reply had said, "Noted. You are the COR." 3 words. Clean. I thought of the deposit receipt from that same week. Deposit posted 11:31 a.m. Auth 2836. The last 4 digits of my card. The receipt number in the corner. The small line that said non-refundable. The number did not scare me. It steadied me. Numbers have a way of doing that. I could have argued in the doorway. I did not. Kindness first. Then paper. I looked at the host. "Would you mind if I say hello to your manager?" I asked. "If Claire is free?" He lit up. Relief moved across his face like a shadow letting go. "One moment," he said. He touched his earpiece. "Claire to front, please." He gave me a timid smile. "She'll be right up." Tara exhaled and glanced toward the room. "We're losing time," she said. "We need those seats." "Give me 1 minute," I said, and kept my smile. "It will help the room." Another cousin wandered up. "Problem?" she asked, half curious, half hungry. She eyed the tray of place cards. "I just need to know where to put my purse." "No problem," I said. I stepped aside so 2 guests could pass. The double doors opened and the cool from the hallway touched the warmer air of the dining room, bringing the lemon scent of fresh-cut wedges on the bar. A violin hummed a test scale. The sound made me think of iron rails and summer cicadas. "Grace," a voice said. Claire walked up from the dining room with an iPad cradled in her arm. She had the navy jacket on, hair smooth at the sides, calm eyes. "Good to see you again." "Good to see you," I said. "I love what you did with the eucalyptus runners." "Thank you," she said. "We're happy you're here. Can I help with something?" I kept my voice steady and my request small. I rested 2 fingers on my folder, not opening it yet. "Would you please check the booking file for Grace Martin?" I said. "It shows who approves the seating map." "Of course," she said. Simple. She tapped the screen and drew down a menu with her thumb. "Let me pull your file." The tablet glow lit her face. It reflected in the brass plate that held the host's pens. On the page, I saw the room diagram in soft gray. Circles for tables. Small numbers in each circle. The letters BO sat at the top of a tab. Claire saw my look. "BEO," she said. "It's the dinner plan sheet. Menu, timing, seating, all in one." "Thank you," I said. Tara stepped forward, smiling too bright. "We need to move a few people," she said. "The photographer." Claire nodded once. "We can help with seat changes," she said, "if the file allows them." "There's no issue," Tara replied. "Just a quick shuffle." Claire looked at me. "Grace Martin," she read off the screen. "Client of record. Head count confirmed yesterday at 10:05 a.m. She swiped to another tab. "Seating approvals close at 12 p.m. day of unless extended by the client." She angled the tablet so I could see the small note. "Only client can approve seating changes." The sentence sat in plain text, calm as a rule on a library wall. I nodded. "Thank you." Tara crossed her arms. "We're family," she said. "We can decide where people sit." "The file has a code," Claire said. "It's for approvals." She turned to Tara, polite as linen. "Would you tell me the menu lock time and the approval code on the file?" Tara blinked. Her mouth opened. Closed. Her bracelet slid on her wrist with one quick tick. "The what?" "The menu lock time," Claire said, still gentle. "And the approval code." She waited. Tara's eyes flitted to the room, then back. "I'm sure it's fine," she said. "We just need—" "The code," Claire said, kind but firm. Tara didn't have it. She pressed her lips in a line. The host looked at the floor and smoothed the edge of the place card stack with his palm. I opened the thin folder and slid out the first sleeve. "I have the deposit receipt here," I said. I kept the words plain. I did not tilt them sharp. 6 weeks ago. I tapped the corner. I set it down on the stand, not in her hand, not waved. Paper on wood. Calm. I added the email printout with the subject, "Client of record, Groom S. Dinner, Martin Carver." It showed my note. It showed Claire's reply. "Noted. You are the COR." 3 words, black on white. I added the tasting invoice with the small total. $92 tasting, paid. The numbers were neat. The paid stamp lay at a slight angle, like someone you trust set it there without fuss. I added the headcount confirmation from the day before. Headcount 64 confirmed 10:05 a.m. Seating approvals closed 12 p.m. day of. The close time was clear. I traced it with my finger once. "That's noon today," I said. I did not extend the window. I slid out the floor plan I had initialed on tasting day. GM, in small print near table 3, a circle labeled table 1, another labeled Sweetheart. We had put the older family on table 2 and 3, close to the front so no one would have to stand long or shout across the room. We had placed the kids at table 7 with 2 teens who could help with juice and shoelaces. Claire checked the iPad again and nodded. "Matches our map," she said. "And our note." She tapped the line again. "Only client can approve seating changes." My phone buzzed in the clutch. I let it rest. I stood still. Tara's face went pink under the foundation. She swallowed. "It's crowded at the front," she said. "It looks better with the kids spread out." "The kids are fine," I said. We could hear them in the room laughing at something tall and private only 7-year-olds understand. "They like their own table." "We can set your seat," Claire said to me. "As on the plan." "Thank you," I said. The host pulled a small printer from under the stand. It hummed, warm and quick. He fed cream stock into the tray. The smell of hot paper rose, dusty and clean. The machine spit a new place card with my name in the same neat font. He set it on a silver tray next to a pencil and a half-used pad. Claire handed the iPad back to him without looking away from Tara. "We will reset according to file," she said. "And if there are any costs for extra seats or late changes, we'll send them to the client of record." "I'm not paying for this," Tara said, but softer now. Her hand went to her bracelet and stilled there. "I just wanted the window for photos." "The windows will still be there," I said. I kept my voice warm. "And the photos will be lovely from the side as well." She looked at me a long second. Something tight in her neck eased a little. "Whatever," she said, and then quieter. "Fine." Claire nodded to the host. "Let's set Ms. Martin at table 2. We walked into the dining room. The carpet gave a little underheels. The air smelled like butter and lemon and a hint of pepper from a grinder someone had tested early. 2 servers moved a chair with an easy 2-hand grip, one on the back, one on the seat frame, like moving a friend. Another server slid a fresh napkin into place. The violinist stood near the far window, and his bow made a soft rope of sound that wrapped around conversations and knotted them into a low, pleasant hum. I took my seat at table 2. The chair was solid. I could see the whole room. The kids at table 7 cheered over a magic trick with a sugar packet. A little girl in a yellow dress waved at me from between 2 taller boys. I waved back. Claire bent by my ear so she wouldn't have to raise her voice. "We'll print an updated seating list at the podium," she said, "just in case anyone asks." "Thank you," I said, "for being clear." She smiled. "It helps that your file is organized. Not everyone keeps their papers." I touched the folder edge. "It's a habit. I'll send you the thank you note I owe you for the tasting," she said. "You were patient about the salmon swap." "The dill was the right call," I said. She laughed. "It was." She left to tend to the bar. The host walked fast to the stand. I heard the printer hum again and pictured my name in its clean font under the word. I saw in my mind the little bullet on the list that would sit under Mother of the Groom, Grace Martin. My son, Evan, came up behind me and touched my shoulder. He looked sharp and nervous, like a man seeing his life in a short tunnel of hours and wanting to hold it still. His tie was a little tight. "Hey, Mom," he said. "Everything okay?" "Everything's fine," I said. I smoothed his tie knot with my thumb. "Breathe." He looked toward the door where Claire stood now with 2 menus folded open for a late arrival. "I thought I heard something out there." "Just seating," I said. "It's done." He nodded. Relief is a quiet thing. It does not always need words. He squeezed my shoulder and went to greet his aunt who had just come in, 2 minutes past the time we'd set. I watched him hug her and thought of the day he had learned to tie his shoes under the coffee table, single loop, then 2, furious when the lace let go. He had not asked me for help until the knot sat under his thumb like a secret he had finally been allowed to keep. I opened my clutch under the table and glanced at my phone only then. A text from Tara blinked on the lock screen. "Sorry." it said. I shouldn't have spoken for the room. Another text followed on its heels. I got caught up in photos. I let the phone rest face down and decided I would reply at the right time with a real sentence, not a score. The server poured water into my glass. The sound was soft and steady. I took a sip and felt the chill hit the back of my tongue. Claire's assistant set down a bread basket and 2 small pots of butter shaped like coins. I broke a piece and put it on my plate. The crust crackled. I liked the sound. I slid the thin folder under my chair, back from all feet. It had done its work. Paper does not need applause. It needs a quiet place to sit. Grace? My sister, Marta, took the seat to my left. She looked at me, then at the windows, then at me again. You good? I'm good, I said. She raised her brows in a way that meant she had watched the doorway from the bar and seen more than she would say at a table. You didn't raise your voice, she said. It was not a question. She had known me a long time. I didn't need to, I said. She leaned in and kept her voice low. Tara's under a lot of show right now. She wants it to look a certain way, but she should not have done that. People make choices when they're nervous, I said. The file helps us make better ones. I kept my eyes on the room. She'll be fine. Marta exhaled. You're kinder than I am. I'm precise, I said. Kindness helps precision do its job. The first course arrived, a soft salad with shaved fennel, lemon, and a crack of pepper you could see on the plate like a small night sky. The forks felt weighty, but not heavy. The rim of the plate was warm from the pass. The violinist moved into a slow song from the 60s that made older couples smile into their napkins. Mom, my younger son, Leo, called from the other side of the table. They put your name on the place cards at the front. Like, big. An updated seating list, I said. The stand needed it. I pictured the warm printer, the way the paper had curled forward into the tray. Good, he said. People get bold when there's no list. They do, I said, and smiled. Halfway through the salad, Claire came back with a small tabbed receipt. I wanted to show you, she said. We processed the deposit when you came in the first time. She pointed at the line. You'll see it on your card. You might already have. I saw it, I said. Thank you for keeping the numbers clear. Next invoice goes out Monday to the client of record, she said. Minus deposit, plus any additions from today. That's me, I said. Send it to my email. I will. She smiled at Marta too. Tell me if anything else needs a reset. Will do, I said. When she left, Marta whispered. I could hug her. She does her job, I said. She likes it done clean. At the end of the salad, Tara came around the outside of the room and stopped behind my chair. She did not touch me. She did not touch the chair. She spoke low. I sent you a text, she said. I saw it, I said. I'm sorry, she said. The words were not heavy. They were small and honest, like the line you draw under a column of sums to show you ready to see the total. I wanted the front table for the photos and forgot the rest of the people. Thank you, I said. I accept that. She looked at the kids' table. They made a tower out of butter coins. It will teach them balance, I said. She smiled despite herself. You look good here, she said, and meant more than chairs. She hesitated, then added, Do you need anything? I'm fine, I said. Go have fun. I meant it. I did not need her to kneel. I needed the room to breathe. She nodded and moved on. Dinner came in quiet waves. Salmon with dill and a light sauce that tasted like lemon and relief. A small scoop of garlic potatoes. Green beans with a snap when you bit them, like a good word that stands up. The kids' table got chicken. One of the teens cut the younger ones pieces with patience you do not always see in the wild. I watched his hands and felt a private gratitude that had no need for an audience. During a lull, Claire's assistant set a folded sheet by the host stand. the updated seating list. From my seat, I could see it when the doors swung open and closed. Black ink, neat lines, the small bullet by my name that did not declare anything but did not hide either. Evan clinked his glass. He spoke for a minute, simple and clear. He thanked his fiancée's parents, and mine, and me. He made a joke about how he had tried to learn how to cook one decent dinner and set a smoke alarm off twice. He thanked the team. "Claire? Thank you," he said, looking right at her, and she nodded like a person who knows praise is salt, not a meal, and still tastes good. After dessert, I stepped out into the side hall to call the car service about tomorrow's schedule for out-of-town relatives. The hall was quiet. You could hear the kitchen hum. At the service station, 2 servers folded napkins into thin, tidy shapes. The smell of starch rose like something old and kind from a drawer. Claire stood with her iPad, checking a box beside dessert served. She looked up. "All well?" she asked. "All well," I said. "Thank you." She held up the tablet. "I printed a short note on the file," she said, "just for clarity on future events here." She turned the screen and showed me the line, "Only client can approve seating changes." It was the same sentence as before. This time she added, "Ask for menu lock time and code if anyone else requests changes." "That will help," I said. "It helped today," she said. "It resets people without heat." "It did," I said. She smiled. "And I will send you a follow-up email Monday. Appreciate your calm." "That's kind of you," I said. "It's also true," she said, and tucked the tablet to her side. Back in the room, I took a moment by the bar. The bartender polished a glass with a white cloth. He moved in small circles. "Everything okay, ma'am?" he asked. "Everything is okay," I said. He smiled. "That's my favorite kind of review." When I returned to the table, a small white envelope sat by my bread plate. On the front, in neat writing, it said, "Grace." I opened it. It held the parking stub from tasting day. Claire had paper-clipped it to a note. "Found this under our copier. Thought you'd want to keep your set complete." I laughed. I slid the stub into the rear pocket of my folder where it had lived before it fell out. The set was complete again. Small order has a way of making a mind feel tall enough for its life. At some point, the photographer came by to ask if he could set a tripod near the window for sunset shots. He asked me. He had read the room. I said that was fine if it did not block the service path. He checked the path with his own feet before he brought the gear. That small care seemed to smooth the evening's edges by another degree. Near the end of the night, Tara walked the kids to the restroom and passed by my chair again. She paused. "Do you want me to help with the favors?" she asked. "I can lay them out by the door." That would be helpful," I said. We both glanced to the small table by the exit where mason jars filled with caramels waited. A sign said, "Take one for the road," in cursive. Tara had chosen the ribbon. It matched the navy line on the place cards. She had an eye for small matching things. "It is not nothing." "I'll do it now," she said, and peeled off gently with her small train of children. Evan's fiancée, Lily, came to me then and took my hand in both of hers. Her hands were warm. "Thank you," she said. Her eyes shone with the kind light that appears when a person sees work done quietly for them. "For all of this." "You're welcome," I said. "It's your night. You should be able to sit and breathe." "I did breathe," she said. She glanced toward the foyer. "I saw the reset. I didn't have to manage it. Thank you." "You'll handle bigger things than this together," I said. This was practice. She laughed through her nose and squeezed my hand. "I like that." The last song was the kind that makes people who do not dance often sway anyway. The chairs scraped back in a low chorus. The kids ran their final wild lap around the sweet table and then drooped against their parents like flags when the wind lets go. When it was time to leave, I stood and gathered my clutch and the thin folder. I slipped the updated seating list under the front sleeve where I kept the first email. It had my name on it. It had the date. It said, without saying, that we had done a small, clean thing and the room had liked it. At the doorway, Tara waited. She held a basket of favors with one hand and her son's fingers with the other. She looked at me with an expression that had less paint on it than usual. "If the next invoice lands with you," she said, "and there's anything that should be ours, tell me. I mean it." "I will," I said. "Bills and choices follow the client of record. If we added something that's yours, I'll let you know." "Okay," she said. She nodded and pushed the basket a little toward me. "You should take 2 for the road. Perks of rank." "1 is fine," I said. "I like the wrappers." "I picked them," she said, soft, almost shy. "To match the cards." "They do," I said. "Nice job." When I stepped back into the hall, the host stood by the podium with the updated seating list clipped on top. He gave me a small, proud smile that belonged to a person who had watched a knot loosen without anyone breaking the rope. "Have a good night," he said. "You too," I said. "Thank you for your help." Outside, the air had cooled. The elm leaves whispered, and the gravel made that comforting sound under shoes. I reached the car and slid in. The door shut with a clean thud. In the rearview mirror, I could see the big windows with the soft light. People moved inside like paper figures in a hand-cut play, small and dear, their voices a low thread. My phone buzzed. I answered the text from Tara with the line I meant to send. "Thank you for resetting with me. Next time, I'll share the folder before we start so the room is simple from the first minute." She wrote back, "Deal." Then, after a moment, "You were right about the kids. They had more fun together." I checked my email while the driver adjusted his mirror. One new message from Claire pinged at the top. "Thank you. Calm leadership." Inside it read, "Appreciate your calm today. We'll send the final invoice Monday to your email, minus deposit, plus any additions you approve. Claire." I smiled and flagged it to keep. At home, I set the folder on the entry table so I would not forget to scan the updated list in the morning. I put the parking stub beside it. I liked seeing them together, small markers that did not ask for applause, only for a place to live. Then I sat down and took a long, slow breath. A clean night. The kind that sits in your chest like a finished floor plan with your initials near the table where you chose to sit. The next day, the charges that were mine would come to me. The deposit already lived as a thin line on last month's statement. Monday's invoice would land, and I would pay the balance from the card that matched the last 4 digits on the receipt. If there was a late addition that belonged to someone else, I would forward the line and note, "Please settle." Bills and choices follow the client of record. That is not a rule you shout. It is a sentence you live. I sent one last message to Evan. "Proud of you," I wrote. "The room loved you." His reply came back quick. "We love you. Thank you for everything. Tonight was perfect." It was not perfect. A chair had wobbled. A butter coin tower had fallen. A wrist had flashed too near a file. We had reset. It was enough. I looked at the favor I had set on the counter. Navy ribbon, neat bow. I untied it and took 1 caramel and let it melt slow. Later, when I told Marta about the moment by the door, I kept it to 1 line. I opened my folder. Paper did the talking. She laughed in that way that makes your kitchen feel like a room bigger than itself. She said, "Make me a copy of those emails. I want to have a folder too." "I'll bring you one," I said. On Monday, as promised, the invoice came to my email. The subject line was clean. "Final rehearsal dinner, Martin Carver." The body listed the items, minus the deposit. It added the 2 high chairs we had requested at the last minute for the twins, approved by me at 4:12 p.m. That afternoon, a message from Claire landed again, short and kind. "Thank you for letting us do our work. See you at the wedding." I wrote back, "Thank you for keeping the room steady." When I slid the folder back onto its shelf, I noticed the spine had a faint crease now from being held at the stand and the table and the kitchen counter. I liked the crease. It felt like the sort of line that says a thing has been used for the reason it exists. Not to fight, to keep life upright. At the end of the week, I passed the venue by chance on my way to the florist. Sun lit the windows. The elm trees threw shade across the gravel where I had parked on tasting day. I thought of that $92 invoice and laughed out loud, alone in my car, at how often the small numbers are the real practice for the big ones. If you can keep a $92 tasting in its place, a $2,140 invoice does not scare you. If you can keep a chair in its place, a room learns to hold itself. Some nights later, I set the favor jar ribbon in a drawer with the other little strips of life you keep without planning. Ticket stubs, a ribbon, a tag from a sweater that fit, a list of names for a table you sat at when you claimed your seat. The drawer shut with a soft slide, like a promise made to wood. We are a family. We come with nerves and jokes and a need to make a night look good for photos. But we also come with a way to do it that holds everyone. Respect first, then choices, then bills. It is all one clean line when you write it down. I do not always get it right. I have raised my voice at a printer that jammed. I have argued with a receipt that did not add. But this time, in a room that could have gone noisy, I kept the file near my hand and my breath slow. The manager asked a simple question no one else could answer. The room reset. The kids laughed at their own table. I took my seat. And peace held.